Hi, this is Eric from Pure Vita Fitness. Hey, we're in the summer here. People want to look good, and it's shorts weather. And part of looking good in shorts is having nice looking legs. So one of the areas we want to work on is the glutes and the hamstrings. I mean, everyone wants to have a nice butt, but having a nice butt is actually a functional thing. It actually protects your back, it actually protects your knees. It's actually good for your overall structure. Hamstrings too. A lot of times people have tight hamstrings, and we stretch and stretch and stretch them. A lot of times what they need is this back part needs to be strengthened. Just because something's tight doesn't mean it's strong. So a couple exercises we're going to show you today help you kind of learn, get your body to learn how to work that. We call it the posterior, the backside chain more effectively. So one thing we want to work on is a hip hinge. A hip hinge is an essential movement for sports and for just for life in general. And a lot of people lose that because we sit all day and our hips get kind of shut off and they get tight in the front and the hip flexors, so we lose the ability to do a good hip hinge. And that's why people, when they try to do deadlifts or squats, a lot of times hurt their backs because they don't know how to get their hips to do the right thing. So we're going to show you 3 exercises using the kettlebell that really work on the glutes and hamstrings. There's 3 different, all 3 of these work, and you got to kind of find the best one that works for you. This first one is called just an RDL. I like this for some people when they're for beginners, because it helps hold the shoulders back, which is a key part of a hip hinge. We want minimal knee bend, so just a little knee bend here, shoulders back, and then what we're going to do is we're going to stick the butt out as far as we can, keeping that back straight, and then we're going to pull the hips forward. Here's my goofy cue, you're going to pretend you're squeezing a quarter in your butt. So stick your butt back, stretch, back of the leg should be able to stretch, come up, squeeze the quarter. That's number 1. And I would do about 10 to 15 of these. Really squeeze the quarter in your butt. Your hips should be here. One mistake you don't want to do is overarch and use that lower back. The second one we call is the waiter's bow. We're going to just put this up here, get a little bit of shoulder mobility work too as well. Same thing, minimal knee bend, butt, the knees are locked in a bent position. We're going to come back, stretch, come up. Stick that butt out, knees slightly bent, stretch, come up. But I'm feeling that completely in the back of my legs, in my glutes and my hamstrings. The final one we call is called the Bulgarian goat bag. There actually is a thing called the Bulgarian goat bag, but we don't have one, so we use a kettlebell instead. What you're going to do is almost like you're in the Middle Ages, you're going to stab yourself with your sword here, or your kettlebell. Keep your knees bent slightly. Push that, keep that kettlebell pushing in, keep that back straight, stretch, and pull, stretch, and pull those hips through, squeezing my butt, squeezing the quarter of my butt. Any one of those variations is good. They're patterning drills to teach your butt and hamstrings how to work properly together. Big mistakes we'll see a lot of times is people rounding their back. So you might want to do this if you're doing it on your own in a mirror. Make sure you have a nice straight back. And the cue I always use, and it's kind of a funny cue, but people seem to it really seems to connect the movement, is pretend you're mooning somebody. You're going to get your butt way back there like you're mooning somebody, and you're going to come forward and you're going to squeeze that quarter in your butt. I know they're kind of funny cues, but it helps you really kind of feel, cue you to what the exercise should be like. And when you do this, you only want to go till you feel a nice stretch back here, and then pull forward. So add these 3 variations or pick one, try all different ones, whichever one feels the best to you. Add a couple sets, about 10 to 15 reps. You can put it in your warm-up, you can stick it into a circuit. It's a great way to teach your body how to work better and develop nice glutes and hamstrings for the summer, so you look great in those shorts for the summer here in Minnesota. This is Eric Peacock. This is another fitness tip from Pure Vita Fitness.